Hi, this is Project Spark Alphabet. I'm Lady Lex UK, and this is brought to you today with the letter C. And I have chosen the copy terrain brain tile, and the prop is the crayfish. So let's start off with the crayfish prop. Now, unlike other animals in Project Spark, the crayfish is not found in the character models gallery. So it's not in characters where all the rabbits and fish and birds and everything are. It's in the objects section, and there he is. There's our crayfish. Let's just pop him down. We'll make him a bit bigger so we can see him. There we go. There's our crayfish. Sort of a cross between a shrimp and a lobster, a crayfish. He's designed as a prop because I think he's meant to be used as a food item for like survival games. You're supposed to eat him. Though they've made him this sort of pinky colour, which I don't think is all that suitable. So let's have a look at properties and appearance. Now it's only 2 channels, but you only need to change one. Let's change him bright red like that, and immediately you can see that's a really good lobster. A nice tasty lobster. So if you're going to use it as food, then I suggest you amp up the colour a bit so it looks like a tasty lobster. The interact heal is very simple. It's when you interact, it will heal whoever interacts with it by a quarter of their maximum health. Play a little special effect on the player, and then it will be destroyed. So it looks as if you've eaten it and healed yourself. Now, for what we want to do today, I'm going to make this into an actual character animal. So we don't want this interact brain, so we're going to delete it. There we go, it's gone. So you need a wandering animal. I've chosen the rabbit here. You can use a squirrel, fox, whatever you like. It doesn't really make a difference because you're not going to see it. So there's my rabbit. I'm going to make him invisible. There we go. It makes him invisible. I'm going to go into his brain. I'm going to alter his brain a bit. So on page 2 of the Wandering Animal Brain, it says flee from player, and it says jump. We don't want our lobster jumping, so I'm going to get rid of that. We also don't want the animal squirrel noise, because that's not really suitable, so we'll remove that as well. You can put another noise in there if you wish. I'm just going to remove it, make it silent. Okay, now if he's going to wander around, a bright red cooked lobster is probably not the right colour. So let's make him the right colour. I think a lobster is blue. Let's make him blue, and the secondary is just the tips really of. There we go. Let's make it a little bit more blue, and there we go. There's our lobster. He's a bit big. Let's make him a little bit more lobster size. That's about right. And we'll just attach it to the body of our rabbit. And move it into position, rotate it until it's all the same angle as the rabbit, so it's facing the same way. There we go. And here we have a wandering lobster. And he'll run away from you because he doesn't want to be eaten. If you want him in the water, I've just attached him to a fish here. There we go, it's the same sort of thing. Don't know if you can see that. It's quite well camouflaged. It's a little blue lobster, and it's attached to a fish, and it's swimming around there quite happily in the water. So there we go. Now over here, I have a lobster. I've made it into a scorpion. I've made him black. I've put a stovepipe onto his tail. There we go, and he'll attack us. There we go. It's quite a big lobster, this. So let's show you how I've done that one. Instead of attaching it to a rabbit, I've attached it to a wolf. I've made it quite large. There's the curved stovepipe for the tail that I've attached to the lobster itself. Made it black, so it's made it into a scorpion. And here is my wolf. Now you'll need to alter him slightly. We don't want him making wolf noises, so we're going to change his we need to change his max fade distance to 1 and his volume to 0, and that will stop him from making any barking noises. And in his brain we're going to change a few lines. Now if we go down to line 13, there says chance to emote equals 1, and this is normally, it says emote talk. This time we're going to do these lines. In world pick your scorpion. Boolean variable call equals true. You can call that anything you like, but I'll call it call equals true. And on the second page, which is the seek and attack page, on line 5 it's where you attack. So you attach a child line to this and say started to crayfish call equals true. So the same as we had on page 1. We put it in there when the animal attacks, and it makes that rattlesnake noise, and that's all in the crayfish because we've made the wolf silent, so we can't put it in there. We have to put it in the crayfish. And we say when you call, play the sound of the rattlesnake, countdown timer, call equals false, so we can do it over and over and over again. And then we just attach it to our invisible wolf, and there we have a really nice large scorpion. But what's really effective with this is we'll scale it down, and you'll notice that our stovepipe will need to be moved. Once you get it in the right position, it's all good. So there we go. We're going to make a few scorpions, and let's see how that works. Now we've got lots of little scorpions, and they're all coming and attacking us, and that's wonderful. Can you imagine that in a pyramid setting? All these little, there we are, all these little scorpions come crawling out from behind a statue or something, like Raiders of the Lost Ark or the Mummy or something. There we go. Perfect. So that's the crayfish. How to make it into an actual character that you can use. Let me just delete these so that they're not attacking us a bit later on, because we don't want that. And I will just change my player to be team 2 so it won't accidentally attack us while I'm showing you the brain tile. Now then, here is my brain tile. I'm going to show you how to use copy terrain, and for this tutorial what I'm going to do is I'm going to make duplicates of this statue, sort of like a, I don't know, like a gummy bear. It's a gummy bear statue, and I'm going to make duplicates of it all the way along here. So first of all, you make your statue out of your terrain, and you colour it the way you want to. You can use as many or as few paint tiles as you like. And here is our template cube. It's just a logic cube. There's nothing in it. It's got an empty brain. There we go. And we just place that at the base of our statue, sort of in the middle. And I've worked out how tall it is. I reckon if you specify 30 tall for this, you're well and truly covered. So here is my logic cube. Now I've got some extra bits here, but it's only one line that you're interested in here. Once, copy terrain from the position of our template cube to the position, that's the position of this logic cube, in a cylinder shape with a height of 17.5, radius of 4. Now we said 30, didn't we? So let's change it to 30. There we go. Radius of 4. And that will copy the terrain where that template logic cube is. And let's make sure all the code in the rest of these is the same. There we go. I need to make that 30. I think that one's already 30, isn't it? Let's see, 30. There we go. So I've got copies, so I can make another copy of this if I like. I put it on the end. There we go. Why not? There we go. That's got to make another copy. And let's see what happens. There we go. It's made a whole row of my gummy bear statue all the way along. I've made this logic cube visible so that you can see that it forms around the logic cube. So you can see what's happening with that one. But mostly you just leave the logic cube as it normally would be, which would be invisible so you can't see it. And that's how you make a copy of a statue. So you can make a whole row without you, so they're all identical, so you don't have to worry about moulding your terrain to be the same all the way along. That's ideal. Now there's other things you can do with this, which I think is very interesting. I think you can see that I changed the height. So let's change the height back to where it was, which is 17.5 on that one. And let's change that one to 11. Just do a couple so you can see. So now we've put a lower height, and now it's created our statues, but they're incomplete. They haven't gone high enough to complete the entire statue. But that's ideal if you want to make an environment where you've got broken statues or incomplete statues. And just to show you, whoops, I should be able to jump up there. Can I jump up there? Anyway, you can jump up on them and climb them and all sorts of things to make a row of broken statues. I think that looks pretty cool. Now, the commented outlines that I've got on here. Let's go back to the 30. So we want the full statue. And we'll take the ignore lines out. Now, what this is going to do is going to paint the statue. Now, let me go back to this statue. You'll see I've used two different coloured paints. I've used this sort of brick effect, and then it's the grey green stone effect at the top there. Now, if I look at my thing, I've got custom. And these are numbered, these slots. So that's 1. Let me try and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That one's 8. That one's 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 13, 14, 15. Okay. So I've painted this in number 8. And number 9. So what I want to do is I want to change number 9 for something else. So we're going to paint the train in the position of this cube, but we were going to replace number 9 for number 10. Radius of 4. Now, I couldn't work out how to change the height of your paint terrain. It will only do a meter. So what I've got is the cube, the logic cube, position cube, actually rises in the air. Position y equals position y plus 0.5. So that will raise up into the air, and it will paint the train all the way up. Then after a second, will destroy the cube, and it will have painted the entire statue in the paints that we want. And we're replacing 9 for 10 on this cube. So let's see on this cube. Sorry, I keep pressing the wrong button. Let's take ignore out. So this time we're replacing 9 with 11. And this one. Wrong buttons. Okay, we're replacing 9 with 12. There we go. So, see what happens when we do that. And there we go. It's made that one red and that one white. And of course, it's not got a chance because we didn't change the height. Let's just change the height so you can see. That's the second one, wasn't it? Let's change the height back to 30 so you can see the whole head. There we go. So now we've got different coloured heads of the statues all the way along. There we go. And that may be quite useful to just to mix it up a little bit, so you could have your terrain and it could look completely different with a different colour on, or like this. It could be different coloured parts of your statues, because your player needs to find something in a particular place. Say, go find the white-headed statue, and there's a tunnel beneath the statue or something like that. So that's a way of doing it. Now you can also create the terrain multiple times. Now I've got another bit of statue over here, and I've put another template in there, and over here I've got a logic cube that is creating both of those statues one after the other. So let's see what I've got in that frame. So let's have a look. It's over here. So I've created a loop to toggle from one to another. Now if you wanted, you could do it with a random number, or you could do it with a countdown, or counting up or counting down, and use a number variable, but I've used a boolean because I'm going to have two options. So let's change it back to 30 so we get the whole statue. So when the boolean is false, then it is going to make our gummy bear, and when it's true, it's going to make what's template 2, which is that statue over there. Now obviously these two statues are completely different, but you could do it so that you could change the look of a statue. Maybe it crumbles, so you create a crumbled version of this statue, and then there's just the player does something and it immediately changes its look, so that it crumbles into a pile. You could do that very easily using this method, because what it'll do, it will completely replace the terrain with whatever you've told it, whichever the template is. It will completely change it. It will remove, and it will change the colours and everything. So you could do that. The other thing that you could do with this is you could create animation. So you could create a statue that actually moves by creating different steps. So imagine like a flick book. So you could have his arm comes up in the next one, his arm comes up in the next one. You would have to make 3 statues identically, which isn't easy to do, but it's possible to do it. And then you could have an animated statue that moves about, or maybe a face with a moving mouth or something like that. That might be a good thing to try and make. And you can just flick backwards and forwards using number variables and what have you to say which template to build. And there you go, the copy terrain tile. Lots and lots of uses. You could make animated terrain, you could make copies of terrain, and it's also very good for making like endless runners and things like that. So you could have mountains and things going past you and just being created as you need them by just creating logic cubes all the way down your endless runner. There's tons of things you could do. So I hope that's opened your eyes to the possibilities of that tile, and also for the crayfish. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep sparking.